Simon Krass is a poet and bookseller at Alley Cat Books in the Mission District. His work has been featured in Elderly, Sikakli, and Something Worth Revising. He shares a birthday with Walter Benjamin. They are both cancers. Welcome, Simon.
Hey guys, thank you for coming out. Thanks for inviting me to read. Okay, hold on. Oh, the jitters all. So yeah, thanks for having me. I'm just gonna read poetry. The record. The record began to skip. I became concerned we were stuck, doomed to dance badly to two blunted chords. It's often hard to believe this is real life. The long sigh of the new century, the mandatory rave, the insipid hypnotics. Everyone is doing their job. It's disgusting. I cry more readily at a movie than at my own true life that's happening now. I'm always reaching for the nearest paint swatch, trying to decide what color mood I'm in, trying to decide how to paint all of this. The daytime television circuit, the VIP section of the riot. This is what the world looks like when everyone does their job. People take photographs of it every day. The pictures make life look smaller, a size that is easier to digest. I read the introductions, I sift through the back matter, I highlight the relevant passages, my marginalia is insightful. So take a picture of me now, how do I look? A face unfit to receive guests. The promotional murders, lightning programmed into skylines. It's often hard to believe this is real life. I feel like it could stop at any moment. When the needle goes, so will the world. In the meantime, I love this song. Sometimes I hate it, but I'm obliged to dance. The louder and longer it plays, the less it matters how I feel. The more it matters how I am. The more obvious I become. The more true it all is. Everyone needs something to reflect on. And when you get that thing, it's called ecstasy. It's called another minute. It's called one more year. We're not stuck. We're moving too fast. That music is always racing to catch up. It's called a pulse. All right. So this is my, you guys ever seen that movie, The Martian? Yes. With Matt Damon? Yeah. I'm still pissed about that movie. It came out like 2 years ago, and I'm still like, what the fuck was that? I didn't pay money for that. Ridley Scott? Should know better. So this is called my least favorite movie of the year. It starred a good country. An America handsome astronaut named Matt Damon. He's stranded on Mars. He should die, but persists. He's brilliant. He deserves to live. It's because he knows nature's a thing to be conquered. Survival is an equation that must be solved. And the cosmos are just a backdrop for the real drama, the human drama. That's what I learned. That's why I hated it. No one ever asks why he wants to live. No one ever asks why it matters if he does. And I believe space would be worth watching if we never touched it. And Earth will still be beautiful when no one is around to say so. But who cares what I think? I'm not Matt Damon. I'm not an astronaut. And at the Megaplex, the audience, they stand up. They applaud when he finally makes it home. Who wants to go home, he seems to be asking. We do. We want to go home. The audience dutifully responds. The audience are moneyed young men who made their home San Francisco. They exit the theater, they walk away nodding. Yes, another narrative of great men doing great things. Because they can, because they're great, because they will save us, because they never ask why, because they want to go home. And if space is a future and film is a dream, then why keep dreaming of places we've been and stories we've already told? I didn't want to go home. I wanted to watch Matt Damon die. I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe I should. Maybe it's gotten better now.
No.
Okay. No. I went to Italy last year, or this year. I don't know. Sometime in my recent memory, and all I got was this poem. Really, it was fun. It was the only thing. Pasolini Pastoral. Ezra Pound remains mute-mouthed, still a fascist. Pier Paolo Pasolini remains murdered, still Marxist. Mussolini is dead, his body is on display in Milan, yet his squat architecture remains intact. Buildings that invoke utility, outfits like crisp flags. The Carabinieri in Rome are so handsome. The machine gun remains a fashion-forward accessory for every season. Thankfully, no one has ever done anything wrong in this sweet life. The mother of all bombs has ripened to a gleeful acronym. Venice is still sinking. Americans write it into the Adriatic. The only thing they can think to say to Europe, it's like something out of a movie. And it is. Neorealism meaning new realism. Pound's famous modernist maxim being, make it new, so they do. Neo-Nazi meaning new Nazi. Where fascism is a myth or folktale, it's an old world specialty. Some want to import it, convince us of their domestic product. Films in which rich, white, sad people do nothing but feel bad for themselves. We all know this anecdote, or is it an old joke? Ezra Pound and Il Duce walk into a bar in Rome. Pound shows Mussolini the cantos. Ma questo è divertente, how amusing. Reflecting on the encounter, Pound is convinced of Mussolini's genius. Meanwhile, 42 years later in nearby Ostia, Pasolini is dead, run over several times with his own Alfa Romeo, his genitals smashed. Moravia comments that the tragedy is like something from one of his films. Ma questo è divertente, how amusing. Okay, here's my other traveling poem. Today is it today? Yeah, it's Rosh Hashanah, I think. And I was on Twitter and I saw Donald Trump wishing all the Jews of the United States like a great New Year's. And it sounded like he had just like, one of his aides had just Wikipedia'd like Jewish New Year's and like he kind of read off like what it is to them or whatever. So it was really weird. He got a little like Zionist like, and I affirm our commitment to Israel. So yeah, it was fun. So thanks Donald, but no thanks. But this is a poem I wrote about going on birthright basically. It's called Taglit. One time I won a free trip to Israel, just for being born an American. There was a catch. They wanted me to come home a Zionist. Didn't work. Instead I decided I was a poet. I'll tell you how, I'm just going to tell you how. We don't have the leisure to be oblique anymore. Israel was beautiful, it was racist. It was beautiful and the clouds looked biblical. A nation composed of pain can only imagine more pain. And I was the loneliest I've ever been. I was across the world, not Jewish enough to be Israeli, not American enough to be American. And I was in Tel Aviv, which means old new. I was at the beach. I don't speak Hebrew, but I decided I was a poet. The moment it happened, I was standing. I was standing chest deep in the Mediterranean. IDF helicopters patrolling the coastline. Israeli flags pinned to breakers whipping in the wind. The loneliest I've ever been. The beach, the nation, they felt very old. Behind me, Israel was beautiful. The sky, the horizon, they felt very new to me. I was facing it. I was across the world. When language broke for me, it just broke. I didn't know how to draw a line. Between all these points, I was standing chest deep in. The Mediterranean, I was standing between. When every narrative failed for me, it just failed to be true. Tel Aviv means old new. I came home, I decided I was a poet. One time I won. Just for being born, there was a catch. And I'll tell you how, I'm just going to tell you how. We don't have the leisure to be impossible anymore. All right, I got one more. Okay. Thanks guys for listening. Yeah. This is it. This is where I walk off. Journey, journey. Fireworks. The greatest band in the world, Kiss. Okay. So it's called Utopia. Utopia. It's a slick and expensive word lit up in Vegas neon. Once it leaves the lips, it takes off running. And that's why Americans are terrible to kiss. Their mouths taste like the bitter glue they lick to seal their envelopes. They mail their ideas to themselves, confident their future is permanently inbound, only imagined to be more or less or more money, no invention. So when ideas arrive, they're late, they're unchanged, at best gently mangled. In the shower, arms raised, extending palms towards steaming head in praise, and trying simultaneously to clean under the arms, saving time, making progress, speeding towards. The point of sale being to sell, and even though that point is now Baroque, it's lousy with conspiracy theories and sugar piled up like sandbags. What's there is just a maximal calculator. What's there is just a minimal wage. It's just an artery accumulating cholesterol. And anything worth buying, it's hovering in the margins, an idle thought. And so lo, behold, beware, as that thought gains gravity and relocates itself to the center of the page. The thing is, at some point, if we want anything better, we'll have to stop selling each other shit. So remain low, remain nothing, remain nowhere. There's no room for you in utopia otherwise, and thank God for that.